Hello, everyone. This is Catherine Pearson, and I'm going to talk a little bit about employee handbooks and training program as well, and why an employee handbook and a training program is so important in a business. So this is for my ENT 630 entrepreneurial class, and this is the toolbox assignment. So why an employee handbook? Why would a business need one? So it sets expectations for the new hires and makes training and enforcement easier. And this sentence really does, I probably could have just used this one sentence, but it clarifies everything. It sets clear expectations for your employees, all of them, whether they're new or have been there for 10 years, while also stating your legal obligations and defining employee rights. The employee handbook can help protect your business against employee lawsuits and claims such as wrongful termination, harassment, and discrimination. So it's just so important to have all of your expectations, all your policies, all your ethic policies, everything in this handbook for every single employee. So you are covered as an employer, and also to help cover and protect your employees as well. So what goes in an employee handbook? So a few that I looked at Netflix, HubSpot, Zappos, and Amazon. So these were actually in a list of some of the top handbooks for the year 2020. And so I looked at them, and they were really easy to use. They all had a lot of the same information. So they were really good to look at. So most of them had some of all this information in their table of contents. So I actually did a table of contents of what I felt was important, and then researched some other businesses, some of the top handbooks such as Netflix, and added a few things that I had left out. I have actually in the past had the opportunity to help create and redo a handbook for a past employer. So I was a little bit familiar with this. And you definitely want to start out with the mission statement. An employee needs to know what your company is about, what is important to you, why they are there. They want to know need to know the history of the company, what the roles are. Definitely all your ethical policies. So for harassment, sexual harassment, drug and alcohol policies, discrimination. There definitely needs to be a safety aspect. And nowadays, computer and internet usage is huge. That was one issue that I had at my previous employer with a lot of our employees on Facebook all the time. Use of personal phone at work, that was another huge one. Then your work schedule, when they're going to have breaks. Also your work leave, your company paid holidays that you're going to offer, annual leave, how to ask for time off, your sick time, what deems sick time, what does not, how to ask for this time off, other benefits that you're going to offer, example, health insurance, workers' compensation, supplemental insurance like your Aflac or Colonial, and of course so many other companies that offer those policies. One that I added, and I actually did see it in some other doing the research, was an open door policy. I'm just a huge believer in an open door policy. I want my employees, when I begin a business, if I begin a business or if I stay in my current position but move up to executive director, I want my employees to understand that I have an open door policy and they can come to me. I just feel like that you have a better rapport with your employees when they feel welcomed, when they know if there's an issue, they're able to go to you. And then you also want to talk about performance reviews, raises and promotions, how you can get those, how they work. So really your table of contents is just everything that your company is going to offer, everything that is important to your company, and really the guidelines for all your employees to protect yourself and to protect your employees as well. So good practices after you create your employee handbook, I thought this was kind of important, is, and I'm not going to go over every single one of them just because of time, but over time you need to redefine. Times change, the world's changing. 20 years ago, even really 10 years ago, computers and Facebook and all that wasn't such an issue. Well, it is today. Cell phones are becoming, huge. I hate walking into a place and somebody's finishing their conversation on a cell phone or texting before they lift their head and acknowledge me. So there's so many things that change, and you need to make sure your employee handbook is up to date. Also, keeping it accessible and user friendly, and make sure it's somewhere. We actually gave our employees a copy of the handbook, so they had it with them at all times if they ever needed it. Practice what you preach. If it's in there, you need to also be following the rules and the guidelines. Don't be on Facebook. Don't be on your phone all the time. Keep up with the legal changes. Seek an employee audits review. Review it periodically. Like I said, things change, times change. So just keep it up to date. So let's talk a little bit about training programs. So you've got the employee handbook, and you need to train your employees. Where I was before, we did our own training program. It wasn't a large business. We couldn't afford to reach out to other programs. These are some programs that offer trainings. This is the top, some of the top ones out there. So we've got this one right here, 360 Learning. We've got Absorb LMC. We've got Trainual right here. We've got Trivy, and then Cornerstone LMS. So these are just some of the top training programs that are offered out there that can help train your employees and go through the program. Obviously, they do cost, and if it's a large business, it's definitely worth it. For us, it was not worth it. We did our own training and did our own, but training is so important. Obviously, employees need to feel comfortable where they are. They need to feel that they understand what they are doing. And if employees feel comfortable where they are and they feel like they've been trained and they've got that, which I feel is very important, that leader in place that is leading them and training them and showing them, they're going to stay at that practice or that company. Morale of employees definitely increases when everyone feels comfortable and confident on what they're doing. You also are going to have customer satisfaction. If customers walk into a business, whether it be a little small shop or it be a Walmart, if they are greeted with employees that care and at least act like they know what they're doing, but even that everything is consistent throughout the whole company, they're going to be satisfied. They're going to be happy. Of course, safety of employees is so important. You've got to train on the safety. I know at my previous employer we had OSHA, and that was just a very important training that we did every single year. If you have well-employed and trained employees, your business runs smoothly, your customers are happy, everything is just going very well. That's more time for you, for the employer. You're able to step away and take time to yourself and get away with your family and just get a little bit of renewed strength and spirit. I think that's very important when you're a business owner and entrepreneur. So time for yourself and your family, extremely important. So those are that's a little bit about the training and handbooks and how they do go hand in hand. You've got to have that handbook first before you start training, and all of the information in there is pertinent, very important. These are some of the references that I used in my research, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.